Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silence Abounds Science at Home, where we will discover home lab magic. We will demonstrate experiments demonstrating scientific principles, concepts, and reactions in chemistry, biology, microbiology, microscopy, and molecular biology. Welcome to my channel. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Silence Abounds Science at Home, where we will discover home lab magic right here in my home lab. In today's episode, we're going to look at the Daniell Galvanic Cell. The Daniell cell is a classic type of galvanic cell that generates electric energy from a spontaneous redox reaction between zinc and copper. It was invented by John Frederic Daniell in 1836 and is a foundational concept in electrochemistry. A galvanic cell is made up of two half cells connected by a salt bridge. In the Daniell cell, zinc acts as the anode where oxidation occurs, and copper acts as the cathode where reduction occurs. Electrons flow from zinc to copper through the external wire. Cations move from the salt bridge into the copper half cell, and anions moved into the zinc half cell, maintaining charge balance. Now, within the Daniell cell, we use a salt bridge, and it's used to maintain electrical neutrality. As the cell operates, zinc ions accumulate into the zinc half cell, and the copper ions are reduced in the copper half cell, decreasing their concentration. This would quickly cause charge imbalance and stop the reaction. The salt bridge releases ions to each half cell to balance the charges. I produce video notes giving you a detailed explanation of the science between each of my videos. And if you would like a copy of this for free, send me an email and let me know which video notes you would like to receive, and I will email them to you. So check out my email. I list it in my video description, along with all the other resources that I use in my experiments, so you yourself can do home lab experiments using the same resources that I do. So let's get back to today's experiment, and I will now demonstrate the Daniell Galvanic Cell and how I have this little diode buzzer. Okay, and I'm going to use this to demonstrate the formation of electron flow. And this is basically how batteries and the study of electrochemistry started. So we're going to use the flow of electrons. We're going to use the Daniell cell to work this buzzer. Okay, so let's begin the experiment. Okay, so I've got these four tubes lined up. You need 4 tubes to create the Daniell cell. In tubes 1 and 3, I'm going to add zinc sulfate solution. Try in equal amounts. Okay, and then in tubes 2 and 4, I got copper sulfate solution. Again, try and use equal amounts. All right. And then what I then want to do is add the salt bridges, and I've got these, and these are like felt material, and you just put them in solutions like so, and this helps keep the charges and electrons balanced. So now what I need to do is add electrodes. So I've got 2 copper electrodes. Okay, and I'm going to attach them like so. One there. And then what I want to do next is get my zinc electrodes. Again, I'm going to use 2 zinc electrodes for this experiment. Like so. And then I want this middle wire to have each of the electrodes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them into the solution. So copper goes in copper, zinc goes in zinc, like so. And then I'm going to place the single electrodes in their respective solutions. So copper goes in copper, zinc goes into the zinc solution, like so. And then what we do is we let that react and allow the electrons to start flowing through the system and to balance out. We then, once the electrons are flowing, test out the system by attaching the 2 outer electrodes to the buzzer that we have. So I'm going to leave that to run for a few minutes and then come back, and hopefully everything should be running smoothly and we can test out the Daniell cell. Okay, so this has been running for a minute or two. So electrons will move through the wires from the more active metal, which is zinc, to the less active one, which is the copper. And this movement creates an electric current, and it should make the buzzer squeak. The zinc gradually dissolves while the copper ions from the copper sulfate precipitate on the copper electrode in the form of copper. So let's try this out and see whether it works. So I'm going to connect the red, and let's listen out if we hear the buzzer. And I think that's a success. We have a battery. This is a typical example of a Daniell Galvanic cell and the early stages of batteries. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short demonstration of a fundamentally important principle and demonstration of the Daniell cell. The Daniell cell became a reference system in electrochemistry. It helped scientists compare electrode potential and eventually led to the development of the standard electrode potential scale. It was widely used in the 19th century in the telegraph systems and early electrical experiments because of its reliability and low maintenance. In short, the Daniell cell was a game changer. It bridged early experiments and modern battery technology and laid the groundwork for electrochemistry as a science. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and also hit the like and share button. It helps me, my channel tremendously. Big thank you to all my subscribers. I truly, truly appreciate your support. Please go ahead and leave me a comment. I love to hear you. Get some feedback of my channel, what you would like to see. And also remember, if you want a copy of my experimental notes for this video, please send me an email and I'll be happy to send that on to you. With that, keep on experimenting. Until next time, goodbye.